Well, US is stepping up its military buildup in the Caribbean amid rising tensions with Venezuela. It's the Pentagon that has deployed its most advanced aircraft carrier to the region. Venezuela's leader Maduro has warned that the move is steered at fabricating a war. President Donald Trump has even launched a military campaign targeting boats allegedly used to smuggle narcotics in the region, destroying at least 10 vessels in a series of strikes. In a post on social media platform, the US Southern Command shared a video that showed US Marines conducting live fire training on USS San Antonio in the Caribbean in support of Southcom mission. The US has already deployed at least 8 US Navy ships, a submarine and 10 F-35 stealth warplanes to the area near the coast of Venezuela, which also marks the largest US naval deployment in the Caribbean since the Cuban Missile Crisis. There are already roughly 6,500 Marines and sailors in the region, as well as 3,500 troops nearby. Now, the USS Gerald R. Ford, with its dozens of stealth fighter jets and surveillance aircraft, will join the existing US force in this region. And once the Ford arrives, the US will have roughly as many ships in the Caribbean as it used to defend Israel from Iranian missile strikes this summer. This comes after the latest strike on a boat alleged to be operated by Venezuelan drug-trafficking gang. 6 people had died in the strike, bringing the death toll from such strikes to at least 43. The US military buildup has sparked fears in Venezuela that Washington's ultimate goal is to overthrow President Nicolas Maduro. In fact, just last Friday, Maduro accused the Trump administration of stoking what he termed a new eternal war. The US-Venezuela standoff has also drawn in Colombia's Petro, a sharp critic of American strikes, who has accused Trump of murder over the strikes on the alleged drug boats sanctioned by US Treasury on Friday along with his wife and son. The reports even suggest that Petro is considering ending US military presence in Colombia. US has 2 naval bases, 3 Air Force bases and 2 Army bases in Colombia. The 2 naval bases are in Cartagena and Toledo, which host joint maritime training operations. The 3 US Air Force bases include Malabo, used for surveillance, aircraft Palenquero, which is a key center for air operations and logistics, and Epie, which is the air base that supports air mobility and intel sharing. 2 army bases that are in Larindia and Toledo, which support counterinsurgency and drug interdiction operations too. These developments come at a time when China's influence in Latin America has grown dramatically, with Beijing, that is Latin America's second largest trading partner, and trade between the two soared to as much as $518 billion just last year. In fact, China has also emerged as a key source of development finance, with countries like Venezuela borrowing nearly $60 billion worth of Chinese state loans. Experts even feared that this could push economically unstable countries like Venezuela into debt traps. Interestingly, the last time Venezuela had accused US of sending troops to its land, Colombia was at the other end of the equation. It was in May 2020 that Caracas had foiled an attempt to infiltrate Venezuela by sea and even remove President Maduro from power. 2 US mercenaries were detained along with 17 armed attackers were arrested. Maduro had blamed the attempt, known as Operation Gidon, on the US government and Colombia. Trump was president at the time as well. He had denied any involvement, saying that if US had taken part in the effort to overthrow the Venezuelan government, it would have been an invasion. More than 5 years later, the same players are on the board again, with question that surrounds, will an invasion come this time around?